Greetings, students. Mr. Harrison here on behalf of the 7th grade physical science teachers again. I wanted to just give you some warning that this video will have a bombshell revelation in it, so stay with me. The other day, you all got to enjoy seeing one of your teachers during the live specimen demonstration do something that was rather notable, rather unique, and that was that your teachers showed you a live specimen of, more specifically, a sewer lice, or sewer louse, the plural would be lice, a jar of sewer lice, and then my understanding is all of us 7th grade physical science weirdos took one out of the jar and then ate it, chewed it, and swallowed it. I'm sure a lot of you were screaming and grossed out, and that's okay. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about two words that we need to know in science this year. The first is observation. The second is inference. And we talked a little bit about observation in the previous demonstration I just referred to, and that we talked about how you were supposed to list 3 things that you observed during the demonstration. So I'm sure your teachers probably already went over this, but I'm just going to review. An observation is something that you gained through the use of your 5 senses, which is smell, taste, touch, hearing, and seeing. 5 senses, observation. So, if observation is what you got with your 5 senses, you might be thinking, well, what's an inference then? Inference is also a language arts term that you might have heard the word infer. It comes from they're the same word in different form. So an inference is when you have your 5 senses that gave you some information, and then you take a next logical step from those 5 senses and what they gave you. And it has to be logical to draw another conclusion or assumption based on the 5 senses information. So for example, one of the examples we talk about every year is, let's say the door's open in the classroom and you're sitting in your seat and you hear someone scream in the hallway. You're just sitting there and you observe with your ear there was a scream in the hallway. That's an observation because you got it with one of your 5 senses. So you can make 3 pretty logical inferences based on that one observation. First is that someone's scared or startled. There was a spider or someone jumped out and scared them, right? Second is that someone is very excited. Because sometimes I have 4 little girls at home, and they scream when they get excited. So it doesn't have to be scared. So they could have been scared or startled. They could be very, very excited, or they could have stubbed their toe, banged their head or their elbow on the locker, and something hurt, because people scream when they hurt. All 3 of those are possible, very logical assumptions based on hearing someone scream. Can all 3 of those be true? Someone's scared, startled, and excited? Probably not. And either one of them are very logical. But my point in that is the inference that we made is logical, but a little less certain than what we got with our 5 senses. For sure, with our 5 senses, we know that somebody screamed. We infer that they're scared, or they're excited, or they got hurt. You understand the difference there, hopefully. So I promised you a bombshell. So let's get to that. You observed the other day sewer lice swimming up, swimming down, swimming up, swimming down in dirty sewer water, and then another specimen of sewer lice doing the same thing up and down in clean sewer water. Then you observed your teacher take one of those out and eat it. And the bombshell is this: I'm sorry to report to you that your teachers are not quite as gross as you thought they were. Maybe we are still pretty gross, but we didn't actually eat a bug. As a matter of fact, more than that, sewer lice do not exist. They're not a real organism. So I'm very sorry that we had to temporarily mislead you, but let me explain why we did that and what it was. First of all, what was it? If it wasn't a sewer lice, or it wasn't a sewer louse, you might be thinking, well, why was it swimming up? And why was it swimming down? The simple reason is because they were not actually in sewer water. So let me explain. The sewer louse was actually a craisin, like the little cranberry, you get a bag of craisins, you can put them on your salads or whatever. It was a craisin. The sewer water was not actually sewer water. Dirty sewer water was either Mountain Dew or ginger ale, which are types of soda pop. And the clean sewer water was actually not sewer water at all. It was either 7-Up or Sprite, which is a different type of soda pop. So, what do you know about soda pop? Oh, that's right. It has like bubbles that go up, and then they pop, and they go up, and they pop. So here's what happened. You have your little craisin, your sewer louse, bubbles from the soda carry it up to the top, and often it sometimes even vibrates like it's swimming. Then when the bubbles get to the top, they pop, and the sewer lice sinks back down. And then another bubble might carry it up again. It pops, it sinks back down. So all that was happening is the craisins were moving up with the bubbles, and then when they pop, they were sinking back down. And then obviously when we ate the sewer lice or the sewer louse, we were just eating a craisin. And so we, with all the theatrics, oh, I'm going to throw up, it's really gross, whatever your teacher said, that was just kind of acting. So the reason we did that was a couple reasons. And by the way, please, if you have younger siblings, don't tell them that this was fake, because I'm sure it was a lot more fun for you the other day thinking that your teachers were nasty and cringy and ate a bug than it would have been if we were like, hey kids, you want to see us eat a craisin? You'd be like, I don't care, do whatever you want to do, right? So let them have fun with it too. So you can talk with your parents about it, but don't tell your little siblings if they might be here later, because you'll steal the fun from them. So the reason we did that is, number one, to illustrate the difference between observation and inference, because what you observed is us eating something and something going up and down. What you inferred is that we were eating a bug called a sewer louse and that the sewer lice were swimming up and swimming down. But you didn't actually observe that. You just observed something going up and down and something being eaten. The second reason we did that is to make it memorable. So hopefully now you remember the difference between observation and inference, because we thought it might be fun for you. So here's our promise to you. We will not ever mislead you unless it's absolutely necessary to illustrate a point, and that if we do ever have to mislead you, we will only do it for as long as it has to happen to illustrate the point. That's why we're telling you this now. We're telling you the truth now. Second reason we did that is to illustrate the idea that just because an expert in their field tells you something is true doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's probably much more likely to be true than not be true because they're an expert in their field. But just because someone who knows a little more about something tells you that there's something's a certain way doesn't necessarily make it right. And if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not sure if that's really true or not, that doesn't really jive with what I know, don't just take my word for it. Don't take Miss Gordon's word, Miss Wood's word, any other teacher's word for it. Go and do some research. And then if you find that it's true, then great. But if you find that it's not true, come back to us, your teachers, tell us that it's not true, and give us the data that supports that claim, because it's possible we might not have the most up-to-date information too. That happens sometimes. So just because someone's smarter than you or more an expert in their field than you says something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So that what a good scientist does is they question things and they go and do their own research, and they either verify or unverify the claim that was made by someone else. So again, our apologies for temporarily misleading you. We're trying to set that right now. Hopefully you had fun with this and you can forgive us and not distrust us moving forward. And thank you for listening, and we'll be in touch.